LeBron James. The case for independent drug testing in the NBA. LeBron James is one of the most polarizing figures in modern sports. Some hail him as the greatest basketball player ever, while others see him as an overhyped, politically motivated athlete protected by the NBA and corporate sponsors. But one thing is undeniable. At nearly 40 years old, he is performing at an unreal level, defying all logic and biological norms. The question is simple. Why isn't LeBron James being subjected to the same rigorous drug testing that other professional athletes face? The suspicious longevity of LeBron James. Let's put this in perspective. Professional athletes who rely on explosive movements, agility, and endurance typically see a decline in performance as they age. Even the greats like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal saw their bodies break down in their mid to late 30s. Michael Jordan. By age 40, Jordan was barely hanging on with the Washington Wizards, averaging 20 points per game, but without his signature athleticism. Kobe Bryant, Achilles injury at 34, never fully regained his elite form. Dwyane Wade, forced into a secondary role by his early 30s due to knee injuries. Shaquille O'Neal, a shell of himself by his mid-30s, injuries and weight gain slowed him down. But somehow, LeBron James, a man closing in on his 40th birthday, is sprinting up and down the court, throwing down highlight reel dunks and recovering faster than men half his age. It defies biology. So why isn't the sports media or the NBA itself asking the obvious question, what's fueling this superhuman longevity? A pattern. Across sports, athletes who got away with it. LeBron isn't the first athlete suspected of using performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, and he certainly won't be the last. Significant sports have had their share of superstars who were later exposed or heavily suspected of juicing. Lance Armstrong, cycling, dominated the Tour de France with an impossible level of endurance. Years later, he was exposed as one of the biggest PED users in sports history. Barry Bonds, baseball, went from a lean, skilled hitter to a hulking home run machine in his late 30s. His head size grew. Roger Clemens, baseball, a power pitcher still throwing 95+ mph in his 40s. Sound familiar? Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, boxing. Both were suspected of HGH use, and Holyfield's name even appeared in steroid investigations. Cristiano Ronaldo, soccer, still incredibly dominant at nearly 40, with similar suspicions about his recovery time and performance. In these cases, there were red flags, unusual muscle growth, ridiculous recovery rates, and performances that defied the aging process. And now, LeBron is doing the same thing, yet there's little scrutiny. NBA's soft drug testing policy, a shield for LeBron? Unlike the NFL, MLB, or UFC, the NBA has some of the most lenient drug testing protocols in major sports. In 2020, the league announced it would no longer test for marijuana. But what about HGH, EPO, or other performance enhancers? Former NBA player Richard Jefferson has publicly stated that the league's testing is inconsistent at best. Some insiders believe the NBA doesn't want to catch its biggest stars using PEDs because it would be a PR disaster. If LeBron were to fail a drug test, it would tarnish his career and the league's image. We also have to consider the massive corporate machine behind LeBron. Nike, ESPN, and countless advertisers have billions of dollars riding on his legacy. If he were exposed, it would shatter the carefully crafted illusion of the king defying Father Time. The call for independent drug testing. If LeBron James is clean, he should have no issue undergoing independent drug testing. It is not NBA-controlled or league-mandated. Completely independent testing from an anti-doping agency with no ties to the league. If he passes, great. We move on. But what if he refuses? That alone speaks volumes. The reality is that no other 40-year-old in NBA history has ever performed at this level without a significant drop-off. His explosiveness, endurance, and recovery defy every known precedent. The media, the fans, and other NBA players should start demanding accountability. In the same way Lance Armstrong was eventually forced to face the truth, LeBron James should be held to the same standard. Time for transparency. LeBron James may be one of the most protected athletes in history, but that protection shouldn't extend to drug testing. We've seen this before. Athletes who perform at unnatural levels only for the truth to come out years later. It's time to test LeBron James. No more blind worship, no more media protection. If he's clean, let's see the results. But if not, it's time for the truth to come out. Just like it did for Lance Armstrong, Barry Bonds, and all the others before him.